Picture this: you wake up in a beautiful home. You have money, love, health, and freedom. You've made it, and still, there's a strange emptiness inside. Because what if the perfect life they sold you was never real to begin with? What if perfection is the greatest trap of all? We are surrounded by images of the ideal life. Perfect bodies, perfect relationships, perfect careers, perfect peace. But what you're seeing isn't real. It's curated, filtered, marketed, and yet deep down you still compare your raw, messy life to someone else's highlight reel. You think, if I just fix this one thing and I'll finally feel whole. If I just look like her, earn like him, live like them. But here's the truth. Perfection doesn't exist. It's a concept invented to keep you always reaching and never arriving. This myth starts young. As a child, you were praised when you got it right and punished when you didn't. Over time, you learned, I must be perfect to be loved. And so you started editing yourself, hiding your chaos, suppressing your flaws, performing. Now you're an adult, still wearing the same mask, still terrified of being too much or not enough. This fear of imperfection has infected every area of your life. You don't start that project because it might fail. You don't speak your truth because it might offend. You don't open your heart because it might get broken. And slowly, you stop living. You start managing. Let's talk about what this illusion is really costing you: your time. You spend years chasing things you don't need, trying to impress people who don't matter, to reach a version of life that doesn't even exist. Your peace. You wake up anxious, go to sleep comparing, live every day in a silent war between who you are and who you should be, your identity. You become a collage of expectations, a puppet for trends, opinions, algorithms. You lose the fire of authenticity just to fit into a mold designed by strangers. Perfection isn't inspiring, it's exhausting, and it's time to burn the script. Here's what they never told you. Your flaws are not failures, they're fingerprints, proof that you are alive, human, real. Some of the most powerful people you know, they're not perfect, they're honest. The artist who paints through his depression, the poet who writes about her trauma, the speaker who shares his anxiety on stage. That's the paradox. You connect more through your wounds than your victories. So stop hiding your cracks. Let the light shine through them. Let go of the chase. Let go of the mask. Let go of the myth. You don't need a perfect life. You need a real one. A life where you laugh loudly, cry deeply, fail boldly. A life where your mess is holy, where your scars tell stories, where your joy isn't always loud, but always true. Perfection is the cage, but truth is the key. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop chasing the life you were told to want and start creating the one your soul has been starving for? This is The Last Philosopher, and this is your escape from the illusion. Have you ever felt it? That quiet ache. You stand in front of the mirror, not searching for beauty, but for yourself. Where did I go? Where is my soul? Where's the voice that used to shout as a kid, I'm not like them? Somewhere along the way, you learn to wear faces to survive. A face for work, a face for family, a face for social media. Smiling, polished, safe. But where is your face? The one with no filter, no performance, no fear of being seen. Freedom doesn't mean walking barefoot on a beach. Freedom is walking comfortably in your own skin, without shame, without apology. Because the truth is, you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out, not in the loud, attention-seeking way they taught you, but in the quiet, powerful way that says, "This is who I am. Take it or leave it." You weren't born to be perfect. You were born to be real, messy, honest, alive. But how do you return to that? How do you find your way back after years of hiding, pleasing, performing? You remember. You remember who you were before the world told you who to be. You peel back the layers. You unlearn the noise. You stop asking for permission to exist. And instead, you reclaim your voice. You create without waiting for it to be good. You speak without rehearsing the right thing to say. You cry when you need to cry. You dance when no one's watching. And even when they are. Because your joy is not a performance, it's a birthright. Your pain is not a weakness, it's a portal. Every scar, every failure, every heartbreak, it didn't break you, it built you. And now you get to rebuild your life, not around perfection, but around truth. A life that fits your soul, not just your resume. A life that nourishes your spirit, not just your image. Imagine it, waking up and feeling peace, not pressure. Doing things because they light you up, not because they check a box. Surrounding yourself with people who see the real you. And stay. That's not a fantasy. That's possible. But only if you're willing to let go. Let go of the roles. Let go of the chase. Let go of the false version of you that was only ever designed to survive. So the real you can finally start to live. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about coming home to who you've always been. No more masks, no more edits, no more waiting to be enough. You already are. You've always been. So ask yourself, one more time, are you ready to stop living someone else's script and finally start writing your own? So now you're here, on the other side of illusion. The mask on the floor, the noise turned down, the truth loud and clear. You've remembered yourself, your voice, your worth, your wildness, and now you build, not from pressure, not from fear, but from truth. Because once the lies fall away, you're left with something far more valuable, clarity. Clarity about what matters, who matters, and what's worth your one wild, sacred life. You begin again, but this time, differently. This time, with intention. You stop chasing aesthetics and start seeking alignment. You stop asking, what will they think of me? And start asking, what do I think of me? Because you live in this body. You wake up in this mind. You carry this heart every day. And the truth is, you can't afford to abandon yourself any longer. So you make a sacred vow. No more shrinking to fit. No more silencing to please. No more hustling for worth that was already yours. You begin to rebuild your life like a temple, not a stage. Brick by honest brick. A life where you don't just look successful, you feel free. A life where your calendar isn't full of obligations, but full of soul. Where success is measured by peace, not productivity. Where love is measured by truth, not tolerance. And slowly, you start making different choices. You unfollow the voices that make you feel like you're not enough. You stop seeking approval from people who wouldn't recognize the real you anyway. You stop forcing yourself to love what's killing your spirit just because it looks good on paper. You leave the party early. You say no without guilt. You choose rest even when the world says grind, because your peace isn't up for negotiation anymore. You stop numbing, stop escaping, stop waiting for the right time. You realize the right time is now, and you're the one who decides. You begin nurturing your real self, not your curated one. You write more, you speak softer to yourself. You laugh louder. You cry without apology. You fall in love, not with a fantasy, but with reality. Messy, imperfect, beautiful reality. You take long walks just to listen to your thoughts. You eat slow, breathe deep, love wide. You protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. You become someone who isn't easily shaken, someone who knows their worth even on the hard days, someone who no longer performs, but lives, who no longer runs, but roots, because you've stopped asking the world for permission. Now you are the author. You write new stories on love, on worth, on what it means to live well. You rewrite success from more, faster, better to real, meaningful, aligned. You rewrite beauty from filters and standards to soul and depth. You rewrite healing from hiding the hurt to honoring the journey. And somewhere in all of this, you start to glow different. People notice, not because you're louder, but because you're clearer. You know who you are, and that knowing, it's magnetic. You attract what resonates and release what doesn't. You stop trying to matter because you already do. And when the storms come, and they will, you no longer break. You bend, you breathe, you return to yourself. Because your roots, they run deep now. This isn't a new version of you. It's the true version. The one that was buried under shoulds and shame and social conditioning. The one that's been waiting patiently for you to finally come home. And now that you're here, don't rush. Stay a while. Build slow, build deep, build you. Because the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more present ones, more people lit up from the inside. More humans who've touched their own darkness and chose to create light. So go ahead, craft a life so authentic that even your past selves feel seen. So true that even your fear begins to trust you. So alive that even your silence speaks volumes. This is your rebuild, and this time you're not building a life that looks good. You're building one that feels true. This is the last philosopher, and this is the revolution within.